Okay, welcome back. Well, yesterday, that is where we will start off today. And it is from Abuja as well. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Chamberlain, and good morning to the rest of the crew and Nigerians. Yes, indeed, we have our very first guest here. Oladimeji Fabiyi is a member of the PDP, and he'll be talking about the content of the 2019 election review, which the PDP carried out amongst its ranks there. You're welcome to Sunrise Elite this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. Merit rather than zoning will be the main consideration of the People's Democratic Party as it goes forward into elections moving forward. Some people will say, first and foremost, why has it taken this long for a review of the 2019 elections to come up?
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the leadership of the party for creating a platform, to bring about a roadmap that will lead Nigeria out of the woods, not just but through PDP. And secondly, I want to commend the efforts of the committee too, Governor Bala-led committee, for doing a very good job, for coming up with those far-reaching recommendations that will actually help Nigeria, help PDP, as it were. Now to your questions, I don't think it's too late. It's never too late because something counts, something really matters in a nation building, and that's experience. You recall that PDP was in power, was in government for about 16 years, and then throughout these 16 years of leadership, a lot of things, came to bear. The exigencies of those times are quite different from what we're having now. So now what PDP has done is to respond to what Nigeria actually need now. Is a response to that. It's not too late. It's a deliberate response, to getting Nigeria working again, to getting Nigeria out of the present state we are. So for me, I think is a step, is a decision, is an action in the right direction. And
I'm just wondering, the 2019 elections were conducted way before May 2019. If we had to, as a political party, and a serious big one at that, one would have thought that perhaps the review would have been done by the end of 2019 at the minimum to say, what happened, what went wrong, what can we do better, and the results should have been out latest by 2020. Just thinking,
Like I said, it's never too late, and at least it has happened.
But it is late. I didn't say it was too late. I'm asking if it was late. If you consider
it's not late. We still have time to actually put our acts together.
Okay.
Yes.
If you say so. So now that you're talking about merit instead of zoning, are they mutually exclusive?
Well, you can place them side by side. It depends on the decision, the ones you want to follow. Both of them has their advantages and disadvantages. And for the party to have, come this far to say we are working on merit, we are going to be on the side of merit this time, I think is quite commendable in the sense that when the recommendation was, being read, what came to my mind was that why, and after the report, was read by the chairman of the committee, and what readily came to my mind was, why are people saying that PDP didn't do zoning? Even being on the side of merit is zoning on its, in itself. It's just that it doesn't say pick from me and pick from me. It's zoning on itself because it's a decision you have taken. Being on the side, saying we are taking meritocracy as a decision now is zoning on itself.
PDP didn't do zoning where? For the 2019 elections or for what elections?
Zoning has always been part. They've been doing zoning at some point, until when it was altered, I think in 2015 or so, and then we all saw what happened. Now, largely, what PDP is trying to do is to press the reset button, is to reorganize itself for Nigeria, in preparation for 2023. They have come up with far-reaching recommendations that can actually help this country, and that should be commended. And I think the leadership will take that report holistically and implement it. It's very, very important. Some of the things they said, you agree with me, are quite fundamentals. Very fundamental. Look at They talked about this zone that people are talking about. As far as I know, that's what some of us, especially the young lad in the party, have been talking about. We need to take merit. We need to use merit in our selection process. See, you can never achieve good governance if merit is jettisoned. And at some point, you need to take that hard decision. That, okay, we have to do this. We've been doing zoning, we've been doing whether it's pronounced or not. It's been there, we've been doing it. Let's try the other side. Let's see where this will take us. And that's exactly what PDP is trying to do at this point in time. So for us, it's a welcome idea, especially the young lads in the party. We're happy about this. When you look at some of the recommendations, they talk about the youth inclusiveness, generational shift and gender inclusiveness. They talk about electoral reform, because the kind of governance you have is a reflection of your recruitment process. So they talk about that. They talk about militaries and police staying out of politics. They talk about quite a number of things. So as far as we are concerned in PD, we are happy about this recommendation.
It's a good thing that you mentioned the 2015 elections, because we saw the controversy that brewed then. In 2011, shortly after President Musa Yar'Adua, God rest his soul, died, there were serious agitations as to whether or not his then vice president, who became acting president, could take over from him. We saw sections of this country saying no. Our man was yet to complete his tenure. Perhaps we should have somebody else complete his tenure. And, people said, no, that's not what the constitution of the country says. The constitution of the country permits the president, the acting president, to be president. In fact, it says he should be president. We saw how that led into elections in 2011 and then led to elections in 2015. 2015 was a very sore point, it would seem, where it would seem that your party jettisoned zoning, which you made reference to. So when you come now to say that, merit rather than zoning will be the order of the day within the party, how has it been received by members of the party?
Sincerely, larger number of the party are very happy about, and indeed, section of Nigerians are happy about it. See, it's a recommendation that will sincerely reset this party. Okay, you said the recommendation was that it should be thrown open, because there were lots of arguments that, okay, the Southeast and the Northeast have been the least that have, amongst the entire zone that have in the production of the president, that have produced president in Nigeria. It was quite a strong argument, but Nigeria is a population of over 200 million people, and we have quite a number of eminently qualified Nigerians in the PDP and outside PDP that can actually lead the country. So the committee felt, why not let us do this? Yes, zoning, we've been talking about. It is good. But now let's move a step further and let's see how we can put this, in right perspective at least for the benefit of the country. So I know for sure that PDP would not want to repeat the mistake of the past. The PDP has gone beyond what happened in 2011 or what happened in 2015. We are looking into the future with a renewed energy, vigor, and vision. And that's what we want Nigerians we want Nigeria to be part of us in this. My message to our leaders at every point.
It's not very convincing, I must say. I'm trying to look at, assuming this was the stance of the party in, say, 2015 or 2011, how would it have changed the fortunes of the party, assuming this was the stance in 2015? Would it have had any effect whatsoever?
Yeah, well, what will certainly be. That's number one. Number two is the fact that the 2015 election was not really, this is my personal opinion, was not really about the issue of zoning. Okay? I guess it was the issue of betrayal on the part of so many members of the party at the highest level. And that was why PDP lost that election. President Jonathan did very well. He tried his best. But there was some number of the members in the party, they were perhaps not comfortable with President Goodluck Jonathan, and a lot of them did antipas, but we don't want to go into that. We've gone, like I said, PDP has gone beyond that. So what we need now is, let us reset this nation. Let us reset the order. And that is what the PDP is talking about now.
The main rival, or your main rival, the APC, doesn't have zoning stipulated very explicitly in its own constitution.
Yes.
It will seem that there's some gentleman's agreement that has been adopted, you know, as a result of perhaps learning from what has happened in the PDP. Nonetheless, you know, for some people, they say that zoning is not something that should be openly spoken about. But it would seem that there is some agreement within political elite in the country that if it goes to the north, then at some point it should come to the south, and at some point from the south to the north, and that's how they believe it should be. Some people will say, how is that not taking merit into consideration? After all, they're eminently qualified people in every section of this country.
Oh, I really, sincerely, I really do not like to talk about APC and their politics. I have to be frank with you, and my reason is not far-fetched. It is their problem. Nigerians are waiting for the decision they want to take. I don't envy them. They are in a quagmire, and they should try as much as possible to solve it in the interest of Nigeria, as PDP has done. PDP is looking forward, bringing solution. They understand. They're listening to me. They understand. Nigerians know they're in quagmire. Whether they like let them pick their candidate from the north is their problem. It has its consequences. If they let them pick it from the south, it has its consequences.
But you followed that as well, because
we got
in 2019, you fielded a candidate from the northern parts of the country.
Yes. What has it done? What has that done?
What was the defining factor then? Was it zoning or was it merit?
See, PDP has always been looking for someone who will get Nigeria back to work. PDP is interested in bringing Nigeria back to glory. PDP is interested, and that is why you saw what happened in 2019. No rancor, no crisis. I don't want to talk about the outcome of the election because Nigerians is there in the public. So I don't want to talk about it. We've moved beyond that. Supreme Court has said, okay, this is the way it is now. We have accepted it. So the truth of the matter
I'm asking, I'm not asking about the results. What I'm asking, what determined the candidate that was chosen? That's what
I just told you, because
by the PDP, was it zoning or was it merit?
It was merit. People wanted PDP wanted someone who can deliver the goods for Nigeria. And that was why they went for Atiku. You can see at the primary, it was overwhelming. So, and at the general election, we all know what happened. So, as far as we know, as far as I'm concerned, PDP is interested in winning the election. PDP is, and they believe they can do that through merit, getting someone who can fix this country back. In Nigeria, presently, the country is badly sick. We need somebody who can actually carry out surgical operation to get the country back into more normal, into position. So for some of us who are looking at events, we hope the leadership of the party, and it's our prayer that the leadership of the party will take the bull by the horns, take the hard decisions, and work for the people. It's high time our leaders in authority, declare an emergency on how to be part of the solution. Nigerians are really waiting.
What more was interesting in these particular recommendations, which you found quite interesting and you think that would take your party forward?
Restructuring.
Was that in the review of the...
Yes, it was. It was part of the recommendation. So Nigeria has to, because we need to decentralize powers.
Restructuring your party?
No, talking about the larger... No, for the party, they talked about internal democracy. We need to deepen democracy. And it's a sure way to go. Because if you don't do that, our recruitment process will continue to get faulty. They talk about electoral act, which I believe the party must begin to talk about, and Nigerians must put their voices in that. It's very, very key. Because if we don't do that, it's going to remain same of the same, and we don't want that now. And that's why PDP is looking ahead. Say, let us do this. Let us leave the old ways of doing things and bring something new. Let us consider merits.
Internal democracy is a very interesting one. Let's quickly go to Lagos now to see if they have more questions on that particular one. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Mokwe. Mr. Fabiyi, I'm just wondering, we understand zoning from a particular zone. In this context, could you define what merit is?
Oh, thank you very much. When you talk of merit, you are talking of capacity. Somebody who can actually do the job. Somebody putting square peg in square hole, not square peg in round hole. That is what merit is talking about. We need somebody who can actually do the job.
Well, how do we determine that,
That's what
Mr.
merit is talking
Fabiyi?
about.
How do we determine that, given that ultimately there could be, as one of my colleagues has already said, there could be zoning in merit and merit in zoning. So are we going to have a CV of the person? Are we going to say, okay, this person is going to get a job because of this that is done? Or because the person is having some compelling financial power or economic power, or just what exactly is it? Because it's easy to say put a square peg in round hole or round peg in square hole. Just break it down so people can understand what this whole merit concept is as far as the PDP is concerned.
Thank you, Kaudi. For me, we need to look beyond sentiments, shenanigans, because our success do not really lie in those areas, but our success only lies, and our success does not lie in the fear of the unknown. Our success lies in taking hard decisions. Merit, as I know and as everybody knows, suggests that you need someone. Look at this dear situation Nigeria has found itself today. You need someone who can actually do the turnaround. And this has to, some of the things that will ensure this is a personality, number one, that has the experience, that has the intellect, that has the temperament, that the entire section of Nigeria will be comfortable to work with at its emergence. So this is what we are talking about. We need somebody that Nigerians will look and say, yes, we know he has been there, he has been tested, he has the capacity. It goes beyond financial power, it goes beyond that. But it goes beyond the personality of the person who Nigerians can be comfortable with, can relate with, that has the capacity we are facing a lot of issue of detribalization in Nigeria now, somebody who can actually address that.
Just one moment.
You know,
if you can hear me, just a moment. Just a moment, Mr. Fabiyi. How will you determine the consensus? Is it just going to be one person that's going to show up, or a number of people are going to show up and they will still be voting based on merit? So
no, it's not going to be one person. When you listen to when you read the recommendation of the committee, it said throw it open. It means that every interested person in the presidency or leadership of the country will come out and sell him or herself to the people, and people would assess them based on their record, based on the antecedent, based on what they've done and what they've done in the past, and they are still doing presently. So it's not going to be limited to one person. See, this is guaranteed under the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the fundamental human right to contest, to aspire to do anything. So if you try to stop anybody from that, that means you are violating that section of our Constitution. So anybody who is interested, everybody will come to the table. There will be criteria for the selection. That is why PDP has what we call screening session before election. They look at your records, it goes beyond the document you are presenting. They look at your antecedent, they look at what you have done in the past. So these are the things that will culminate into choosing or picking somebody to lead the country, the party, and automatically lead the country.
I think the coming days will be quite interesting in defining what exactly merit means, demystifying this term, because clearly it can mean a lot of things. It can mean the backing of people from a certain zone. It can mean financial power and the rest. But I mean, we've touched on that. But I'd also like to touch on internal democracy, which Markwe was, latching onto before we came to Lagos. And if you've listened to reactions from different groups, for example, take Ohaneze Ndigbo saying that this decision to go the way of merit instead of zoning is despicable. In fact, most despicable, unreflective, and uncautionable. Basically saying, we are not for this. I mean, we have waited for this, and all of a sudden you're saying this might not come here. So in terms of internal democracy, these are still recommendations, am I right? Have they been adopted by the party?
No, the party, the committee just submitted their recommendation. The party will look, the organs of the party will look, and we have the NWC that will work on it, and then move to the National Executive Council. At some point, the Board of Trustees can come in, and then the party will look into it. The party, one thing I want Nigerians to know is that the party is serious about it. The party is genuine about it. The party is concerned about the state of Nigeria, and that is why you are seeing these responses. The committee went around the country, consulted widely, among the party members, even beyond party members, got people outside the party who would not have a biased opinion to come before they come to this point. And just like you said, it's going to be quite interesting. And what is paramount to us now is to get Nigeria working again. And that is what the party is trying to look for, that person that can get Nigeria working again.
So let me just rephrase this. Has the PDP decided that for the 2023 elections, we're going the way of merit, or you still put this to some form of internal democracy, allow people vote, as it were, and say, which do we go by?
But whether PDP has not really said that, like I said, that's why I said the committee just submitted their recommendation. So the party will look at it and now take a position. That is the way. That's where we are now. They will look at it, then take a position and say, Nigerians, this is what we want to do. But it's good that it's been a subject of scrutiny by the public in the public space. Let me say this: the recommendation of the committee has responded to so many unanswered questions in the past, and we have to take it from there. And I say this with all sense of responsibilities that they have responded. They have answered whether the South is they have given answers to the questions of the Southwest, from the Southeast, and even the Northeast, by saying, "See, you are free to contest. We are not going to say it must be this person, it must be this one. You are free to do." Now, they've not shut out any of the zone from contesting with this. If the party should just go by this recommendation, it means the party has not shut down anybody from contesting. It's a direct response to so many questions that have been asked everywhere.
Well, I think it's a fine place to leave it, Mr. Oladimeji Fabiyi. In the coming days, will determine, as they say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. We'll wait to see, just how the PDP practices it and how it eventually, sits well with the members of the party.
Okay, do you know why Channel is succeeding? Because the founder and the management chose merit over zoning. Chairman of Channel could have said, "I'm picking everybody from Edo State." Perhaps channels will not be where they are. We need to do things differently, and that's what PDP is saying.
Well,
you guys are doing well.
Zoning is
a workforce.
So zoning in some instances is to ensure fairness. So
even in merit, there's fairness in merit.
Okay, so we'll see how it's eventually practiced within the ranks.
So PDP has responded to zoning questions.
Within political
Nigerians
parties.
should support us.
Yes. We'll see how that eventually pans out.
Thank you very
All
much.
the best to you and your party. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily this morning.
Thank you.
Oladimeji Fabiyi is a member of the PDP and has been talking to us on the recent review carried out in the 2019 elections. Sunrise Daily continues in a moment. Please don't go away.